a lot of the European monarchs, when their countries have been invaded, like Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands, King Haakon of Norway, came to this country and spent their time here in exile. But it was thought that had the Germans successfully landed in Britain and concluded an invasion of this country, then the royal family should have gone to Canada. But famously, the Queen Mother said, "I won't go without the King, and the King will never leave." And so the royal family didn't. And there was a suggestion that the present Queen and her sister Princess Margaret Rose should be sent to safety, but although they were in some of the royal estates like Balmoral and Windsor for a part of the war, large parts of the war, I mean, they never left the country. And the Queen made her first broadcast in October 1940 to the children of Britain, and especially the children who had been evacuated from London and other urban centres with the danger of the bombing of the Blitz, which had, of course, just started the month before.
Buckingham Palace was hit, wasn't it? Probably not deliberately, but it was hit.
I don't think it was deliberately hit, but it was hit 3 times in the early part of the Blitz period, and the Queen Mother famously said, of course, now I can look the EastEnders in the face. And when she was criticised for wearing elegant clothes when she visited the bombed areas, she replied, probably quite rightly, well, if these people came to see me, they'd be wearing their best clothes, so I'm turning out in my best clothes to see them.
And what about those royals who served during World War II?
Yes, most famously was the King's brother, younger brother, the Duke of Kent, who was actually killed on active service in August 1942 when he was on a inspection trip, and his plane crashed in Scotland. So, I mean, death on active service did come to the royal family. And the King himself visited the battlefronts in North Africa, in Italy, and in Northwest Europe. Most famously, Churchill wanted to be present on D-Day on HMS Belfast, the Imperial War Museum's own ship now. And the King had to talk him out of it, of the danger of losing the Prime Minister to enemy actions. So the King said, well, I want to be there too, Winston, if you're going to be there. And Churchill, of course, couldn't endanger the King's life, so he had to step down. But the King, as I say, did visit a number of the battlefronts. And, of course, at the Imperial War Museum, we have thousands of photographs of the royal visits. Again, the New York Times described the King and Queen very accurately as ministers of morale. These morale-boosting visits to the armed forces, but also to the factories on the home front.